All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first exciting episode of Smash or Pass, an intellectual conversation on the first ladies. I am the host of this. I am Fenris. I am here with Mike Effen Mcgowan.
Hello.
And my fucking buddy Otis.
Hello, everyone.
So we're going to go through these broads and we're going to see who is the most smashable and who's the most passable. Are we ready, boys?
Fantastic.
Ready as I'm ever going to
We're starting right at the beginning with Martha Washington. Martha Washington, before she was married to George, actually was married to some other dickhead. Did you know that?
Little Ned.
They were married between 1950 and 1957 till he died, or who the fuck knows. They had 4 kids, all fucking died. No kids with George, so her pussy was fucking barren.
Wait. I got
Hold on.
Martha had 4 kids.
She had 4 kids pre-George and none with him.
My mind. Okay.
Well, let me finish. So as the first lady, she set the standard. She was good at hosting those Friday night get-togethers for the politicians and all that. She actually, during the Revolutionary War, something I didn't know, she would actually travel to wherever George was in winter encampments and stayed with him. She left the slaves at home until springtime. So we have 2 pictures here. We have young Martha and old Martha. I'm going to start with you, Otis.
Young Martha's a fox. Young Martha, she can get it done. Now, old Martha is hideous, as are many old people. But that's what time does. But yeah, young Martha, she can get it.
So you give her a smash.
I will smash. Yeah, I'll beat her face in.
Old Martha looks like that already happened a bit, but yeah. Mike Mcgowan.
I feel like my friend Maura looks exactly like the young Martha, and I would bang both of them.
So you would bang Martha Washington and think about some girl you know.
Maura, I was on fire with her. And the old, I'm not going to lie to you, I don't see any wrinkles. I don't see any crow's feet. I'm in on the old Martha.
Well, I think that's a little airbrushed. You know, the technology of the time allowed them.
Why you got to ruin it for me?
Well, yeah, when they painted it, they made them look good. They're like,
I'm shocked you came out as straight.
How old is she? Probably 65 there? What do you think? She lived to be 71?
Yeah, she was an old broad.
So she's 65. I'm in. I'm 52. That's not a big gap. I'm in.
Because, I mean,
You see a trend with
she was definitely old in the White House, though. All right, so we got a smash all the way around for Martha Washington.
What about you?
Oh, I'd smash all day.
Which one? Both?
I'd only smash young. I couldn't cuck fucking Georgie.
Okay. Right.
I couldn't do it. He did too much for us.
She had 4 kids, so it's like
She had 4 kids.
gaping hole.
So it's basically like you don't have to wear a rubber, even though they weren't a thing back then.
Rubber kids,
Because like
Daquan, Lamarcus, Langston.
All right, so that's a smash for Martha Washington. Let's bring up our next fucking lady, Abigail Adams.
Wait, you skipping her middle name?
What?
Smith Adams. Abigail Smith Adams.
Who's hosting the show, motherfucker?
You are.
We don't need all the goddamn surnames just because they're on the pictures. All right, so she got married in 1764 to John Adams, who they were third cousins, so we have that going for us. She is one of only 2 of our first ladies who had a husband who was a president and a son who was a president, along with Barbara Bush. Let's see. Unlike Martha Washington, who was just a good host and kept her mouth shut, this one yapped about women's rights all the time, so a lot of people didn't like her for that. She was the first of our first ladies to live in the White House because Martha stayed down at her joint with the slaves. So, Mike Effen Mcgowan, we got Abigail Adams on the screen.
This is going to shock the world, but I don't like anything about her. I think I would motorboat the young Abigail because she looks like she has a nice rack. I would not bang. I don't like the nose, and I'm disgusted by
She definitely has like a fucking sea witch.
There's something
thing going.
really creepy about her, and then the whole women's rights thing. Fuck that. I'm out. I'm fucking out. Stay home, cook my meal, bitches. I'm out on both, but I would motorboat the young one.
You're such a Lothario.
Otis.
So,
what do we think about Abigail Adams?
Old Abigail Adams is a dog. Like, that is disgusting.
Bad.
That's terrible. Young Abigail Adams is a pass for me, too.
Yeah, I'm going to agree all the way around.
In every way. And I like John Adams. The guy's great. But
I'm not her type because, I'm not her cousin.
Well, and also you have to remember that it's one of 3, but then in 2028 it'll be 4 with the recently deceased Ivana Trump when Donald Jr. wins the election.
when Baron von Trump gets in there.
That kid must be goth.
All right. Let's move on to our next first lady, Martha Jefferson. So for this one, Martha had actually died before Thomas got into the White House, but he never remarried, so we're going to judge her anyway. She had 6 kids. 4 of them died as infants. She was also a third cousin of Thomas. There's a lot of that in the early thing. She also had a first marriage in between 66 and 68. They had one kid there who also died, another barren vagina.
All these kids are dying.
There's a theme here. There's going to be a lot of dead kids early on here.
And banged up vaginas.
Banged up vaginas.
Vagina is Baron Trump's middle name.
Okay. We're going to start with you, Mike Effen Mcgowan.
So easy.
Martha
I
Jefferson.
did both, even though there's like 8 kids that popped out of it and died. I'm in on both.
Even the dead one when she's a skeleton.
Now look, she only.
Well, Skeleton was the wife or the husband's, the first husband's name, yes.
I was making a little pun there. That's
She
what we
died
like to
at
do
34?
sometimes.
Did she really die at 34?
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm in on both.
Yeah. 34. I like it. I'm in on both.
Okay.
Smashing. Tom.
Smash.
I go along with it. Martha Jefferson, you are a smash. You were the first lady who never got to get to the White House, but we're here talking about you today.
Cheers to you, Martha.
I'd like to see Martha spend a little time with Mrs. Washington.
All right. Oh. One of my favorites, Dolly Madison. Dolly Madison also had a first marriage to some Quaker dickhead. They had 2 kids. One of them died early. And when she was remarried, she got kicked out of the Quaker community because apparently, like, oh, that's a big thing. Like, who gives a shit? Imagine, like, not being invited to Quaker parties.
Little known fact, I was raised a Quaker.
Well, is that why you're such a pussy?
Story, totally why I'm so
But she was one of the considered set the standard for first ladies, throwing the parties, being cordial, and she even performed the role sometimes of first lady for Thomas Jefferson, because during Jefferson he had like nieces and daughters. That's what they would do, stuff like that. Who would fill in and be the role of host. So she actually did that for Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, she blew him.
Speculation here. We're not saying Dolly Madison did or did not blow Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, she's a moose.
But if you have any insights,
She did it. And
she is
smiled.
best known for saving the George Washington portrait during the War of 1812. She had no kids with the husband, but they did adopt a kid who later went on to be a just drunk degenerate. So when the husband died, she basically had to sell all her shit to pay off his debts.
Oh my God. We got to get that son in here to be on the show.
Was his son's name Hunter?
It was like Taylor Payne or Tyler Payne, I forget. But she adopted this kid, and he just turned out to be a fucking junkie idiot. So fun times. Otis, what do we think about Dolly Madison?
No, neither.
Oh.
Passed on both.
So
You pass on the
The young one
Dolly.
looks like she could go to art school now. Like that hairstyle, the face, the girth, and then the old one, she's just the type of person you wouldn't notice at all because she meets no traditional beauty standards.
She looks like she lures children into the woods.
Yeah, she's hideous. She's borderline not a person.
if I'm doing the math correctly, she was 81 when she died, which was unheard of back then.
Yeah.
Right?
They either died super young or never fucking died.
6 months or never died. But her old picture is the most hideous we've seen so far.
Yeah, she's definitely at the bottom.
Disgusting.
At the end, we should pick a top and.
Well,
she's winning and the least smashable. Right
okay. Well, I'm going to disagree with both of you.
I didn't get to the young one.
We got a long way to go with
The
this.
young one, I was out until you said she never had kids, and then I'm in. I like a tight pussy. Right?
All right.
Fair?
I didn't know we were going to be working.
No,
blue.
she actually had 2 kids with the Quaker husband.
Wait, I missed that.
And no, yes,
I thought you said they had no kid. I missed it.
she had no.
Then I'm out because she's gross. She's gross. It's all about the tight pussy. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh my God.
What? Was that too
Yeah,
wrong?
her and James had no kids, but the first one she had 2.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
And with James, she adopted the kid who
That's
was
what I heard.
he was the first Hunter Biden of his time. If we're gonna be honest,
Yeah.
What do you got? What do you got?
I'm Dolly Madison's a total smash. I will be her new ass pillow. I don't know where it is. But just the stories about her rump are so legendary. I couldn't say no. Even old Dolly, I'd still give it to.
Oh, no.
Oh,
No, Fenris has a fetish. It's big asses on first ladies.
I guarantee you, even though she's wrinkly up top, that old Dolly's got a thick rump.
She's disgusting.
Wow. God, what a hideous.
Oh, we have a split decision on that one.
All right.
All right. We're moving on to Eliza Monroe. All right. She was married in 1786 to James. She had 3 kids with him. Only one died as an infant. You're going to get a lot of that. So when James, before he became president, he was a ambassador. He would go overseas to London and Britain and being so she went along with him on a lot of that. She was traveled overseas. One of her daughters became really good friends with one of Napoleon's daughters, and they were actually invited to Napoleon's coronation as emperor in 1804, which I found very interesting. She was not as popular as Dolly, and she was sick a lot as first lady, so she let the daughters do the business there. Let's see her youngest daughter was married in 1820, and it was the very first wedding in the White House. She was married to her first cousin, but that's neither here nor there.
Shocker. And their son died.
All right, I'll start with you, Mike Effen McGowan. Elizabeth Monroe, what do we think?
I'm more thinking about what you're going to think about her because she looks like she has a big caboose. I feel like Fenris is going to be in on this. I'm just predicting. But I find her disgusting on both fronts.
Oh.
Lack of titties is really a problem. You don't even see any cleavage on the young one, right? So I'm not even motorboating that. I'm out on both. Pass.
The older one looks like Susan Boyle. That's hideous. That's a hideous look. And then the young one, that's
It's
your
like a
chin.
younger
Your chin,
version of the same thing.
That's not a chin that anyone should have. Pass.
Now, see, I'll give her the smash.
Yeah, booty, right?
I just think when she was traveling around France back in the 1800s, she probably learned some skills. She was probably getting smashed by Napoleon on the side.
She's got a long neck.
Yeah.
She's got a
a very long and chokeable, but in a fun way, neck.
And look at it on the older one. It's gone. It's gone down. It's like
It
Hulk
got
Hogan's
destroyed.
spine getting compressed.
exactly what it is.
I said gone. It's gone.
Elizabeth
and down.
Monroe and Hulk Hogan comparison doesn't happen often in life. So hats off to you, Otis.
Thank you.
Fuck it, I'd let her leg drop me.
Do your real American.
All right.
God, with Jimmy Hart.
Fight for the rights of every man.
Our final first lady for this episode is Louisa Catherine Adams. She was the first lady to not be born in the United States. She was born in England, and she was the only first lady to hold that distinction until Melania Trump came along. Yes, she was married in 1797 in London. She had 4 kids, only one dead baby. She would, same as with our last one, when Adams would go on diplomatic missions before president, she would go along with him a lot. So she was in Russia. She got to meet Tsar Alexander I, and her youngest daughter was actually born in a train on Russia, but then died.
Because that's what happened.
So when the youngest kid died, it kind of broke her heart, and she was just like a sad sack lady after that. So, Otis.
Oh, I want the sad one. Yeah, like when she's older, they're sad.
Look at her; she's sad playing that harp, thinking about her dead
I could
kid.
ruin her life as the young one too. I wouldn't mind watching the two of them get it on. Let me tell you, 'cause I'm a red-blooded American. But the harp.
But she's a limey.
I don't care. She doesn't matter. We christen them as Americans with our seed, and she was sucking Quincy's dick. Mike?
Wow, well played on the Quincy reference.
Yeah.
I'm a smash on both, and even though the big ass, I know the big ass is getting Fenris excited on the older version, but that's a smashable chick on both fronts.
Yeah,
Fair.
even today, she'd be pretty in any era.
Fair.
I'd love to put a cigarette out on her.
I'll give her the smash. Smash her head through that goddamn harp.
The accent too. I love a European accent.
Oh yeah. Ow!
Is that the cigarette being put out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This has been the very first episode of Smasher Pass. Thank you, Mike Effen. Thank you, Mike Effen, Mcgowan, and Otis. And we'll be back later.
Cheers.